Hi, my name's Joe Mcloughlin. I'm the Foundation and Membership Manager at the Skills and Education Group. I'm here today talking with three of our apprentices in celebration of National Apprenticeship Week. Hi guys, how are you?
How are you?
Good. So I'd like to introduce Ben, Rahima and Zach. The point of today's chat is just to get a sense of what each of our apprentices get out of their apprenticeships, what they enjoyed about them, what has helped them in their daily lives moving forward, and why they would recommend apprenticeships to any kind of potential learners in the future. So Ben, I'd like to begin with you as our longest serving apprentice. Just to start with, what apprenticeship did you do? Why did you do it? And kind of how do you use those skills day to day?
Yeah, so I started doing my level 3 and then went on to my level 4 apprenticeship. Mainly went into it because school just wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy classroom-based learning, preferred the practical side of things, so just kind of went into it and loved it from there.
And how long have you been since your apprenticeship?
The apprenticeships kind of took up the first 4 years of me being here, so it's quite a long time. Work was always keen not to see me as an apprentice, so I was always just as involved as the rest of the team in just day-to-day workings, and sort of getting the support going through as well. The fact that I could do the practical side of work and then go into the college for a week and do the study in there was just brilliant for me. It was a little bit of classroom based, but then being able to take it back to work and actually demonstrate the skills in a work environment where it's a bit more practical, a lot better for me.
Great, thank you. And so Rahima and Zach, you're slightly at the other end of the spectrum from Ben. You've recently started your apprenticeship with us. Rahima, why don't you just take us through what apprenticeship you're doing at the moment, what team you're working with, and how you're finding it?
I'm a business administration apprentice. I've been here for about 9 months now. I started working in the professional development team, so I was there for about 8 months. In that team, I helped with the administration of the events that we do here at Skills and Education Group and all the bookings and stuff that behind the scenes, stuff like that. And now I'm in the customer support team. And I've been here for about a month and it's going really well. I'm learning a lot of new things. It's very different team from being in the professional development team.
Is that changing of teams something that you sort of find interesting, that flexibility, something that's interesting to you or helpful?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that I struggled with a little bit was literally, when people ask you where do you work, and it's we're such a big organisation and it's kind of describing what we do. It's there's so much that we do. So yeah, working in the customer support team has really helped me a bit more understand what we do. Helps me understand a bit more the work that I do, how it helps people.
I'm doing a marketing apprenticeship, and I've just passed my 6-month probation, so I'm coming up to my 7th month now.
And kind of what sort of thing are you working on in your apprenticeship?
Because I'm multi-channel marketing, I kind of work in lots of different areas. Currently I'm trying to get the more analytical side of it, because that's probably the skill set that I struggle with, so I'm trying to get extra support on that currently.
And similar to Ben, do you find working and doing it practically a benefit to you or different to you than you would in, say, a learning environment or a theory environment?
I find it easier than working in a classroom. When you're actually doing it, it stays in your head longer and you're getting the experience of it. It's great working in a team because you all rely on each other.
For me, it was the fact that if I was in a classroom, there's not really any relatability to the real world, if you like. Going into the classroom for my apprenticeship, I knew I could straight away see how that would relate back to my work environment, and there was quite often I was coming back and actually doing little training sessions for our team so that we could try and upskill as well. So I was kind of treating it on that side of being able to upskill the rest of the team as well, which was outside of the comfort zone, having to present to everyone. But again, it's skills that you wouldn't necessarily have or have as readily in a classroom environment.
Yeah. Well, just thinking about the future then for all of you, but we'll start with yourselves, Rahima and Zach. But you're 9 months in, or 7 months in, What kind of aspirations have you got on a longer term? Where do you see this apprenticeship going, and what do you see it turning into?
Well, actually, before I started apprenticeship here, after secondary school, I completed a customer service level 2 apprenticeship. From that, I'm still being here. It's kind of hard to answer that question, because for me, like, the future, I'm thinking about what I want to do is I'm still not very sure. One of the main things that I've been gaining a lot of skills from apprenticeship is just gaining a lot of skills and experience and trying to find out what I like and what I don't like. The more I'm here, the more I'm doing stuff, it'll help me get a better idea of what I want to do.
Similar to Rahima, I didn't actually know what I wanted to do in school, so I think apprenticeships are really good for like trying to figure out what career you want to go into by gaining different skills. Because since I've started here, I found that marketing is the route I want to go down. So I think after this I want to do either my level 4 in marketing, or I want to carry on in a marketing position.
For both cases, then it's a really good sense of, one, helping you figure things out and decide what you want to do, and then once you've decided what you want to do, you're able to really concentrate and focus in on sort of the key activities.
Mm.
Why, for anybody out there who's thinking of doing an apprenticeship, why would you recommend them, and what reasons would you give? Like, if you were selling them to someone, what would you say?
I actually try and promote this to the teams that I coach as well, so I try and just advise that if ever they're struggling in classrooms, there is other ways of learning. So not everyone learns best in a classroom. Some people prefer that practical element, and that's just been, I don't think I would have achieved the same qualifications if I was at college or university, because it just wasn't suited to me. Whereas being able to do an apprenticeship, it just had that perfect blend, and the fact that you were basically doing work that actually mattered, it was actually work that was for an organisation. You know that you have to get work done, and you have to keep upskilling, and having those skills be used in the workplace was just really beneficial to me personally.
Similar to Ben, it's quite rewarding knowing that the skills that you learn and the work that you do really does help people. I think as well, one of the reasons I recommend apprenticeships is because I think, as you can take an apprenticeship at any age, but I see a lot of people who finish school and they go to apprenticeship. I think it's a really good thing to do because it teaches you quite early on how to, like, financial management, for example, managing organisation, and it's a really good thing as, hands-on.
I suppose it's getting the experience. So a lot of people, they go to university and they come out with like a really good degree, but they don't have the experience that apprentices have. So I suppose you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, and I'd say an apprentice is probably more likely to be taken on by an organisation because they have the experience there.
And so then, to turn that question around slightly, are there any misconceptions about apprenticeships that you'd like to kind of put to bed, or anything that you experienced or felt at the time that you're like, oh no, that's not how it works, that's not how it is?
Certainly from when I was first starting with my apprenticeship, everyone sort of said, no, you're too clever to do an apprenticeship, because at the time it was sort of aimed at factory workers, was more targeted for apprenticeships. I think I was probably at the starting point where that was being transferred into other areas like marketing, like customer support, like IT. So I think the fact that you can do an apprenticeship in anything you want, and you can do pretty much the same level that you could do at a university or college, you could do that in an apprenticeship format. So I think that's probably the one thing for me.
Similar to Ben, everyone says that you're more successful if you go to university, which really isn't true. I think apprenticeships are a brilliant option that a lot more people should consider. Another misconception that I see a lot is apprentices are treated less than other colleagues, which in my team, I feel so embedded with everyone, and everyone treats me like an equal. It's really, really nice.
And do you think you wouldn't have that if you were, say, at a uni where it's very much a, say, lecturer-student dynamic?
Yeah, I agree with that, because obviously there would be that dynamic with a teacher, So I think it is better in apprenticeships because you're all on the same level.
So we spoke there about what advice you would give or kind of what the benefits of doing apprenticeships are. But practically, what was the application process like for each of you? Like, how do you go from thinking, oh, that's something I'd like to do, through to researching the course, signing up, finding an employer? Like, take us through the process for each of you.
There are all like different ways you can go about it. So there's job sites like Indeed, and then there's obviously gov.uk, and then UCAS. I think for here I went through UCAS, and I applied through that way, and my application was like really quick and easy. I spoke to the woman at the college that I'm with, and then she set me up for an interview after like looking at my CV, and yeah, it was just a really quick, easy process.
I actually applied through the Nottingham College website. I actually applied to, I think, 2 or 3 other different apprenticeships, and then someone got in contact with me because they were, I think, the end date was finished or something. So I spoke to a lady over the phone and we kind of wrote up a little CV for me, and then that got sent to here. And someone said it was quite quick for me too, and I spoke with a couple of people, and I think it was a week, and then I got the call that I could start.
I found my course as the starting point, and then from there they sort of gave us opportunities to submit CVs and stuff to places that wanted to take on apprentices. It took me all summer after finishing secondary school, and then I just started secondary school, and I think I ended up with 2 interviews in 2 days, and got offered both. And on the 3rd day, was able just to finish 6th form and started the following week on an apprenticeship. So,
wow!
But just loved it, to be fair.
It's good timing.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've spoken a fair bit then about the positives of apprenticeships, the benefits of them to you, to the employers. Not to be too negative, but kind of what are some of the challenges you've each found, and kind of what has overcoming those challenges taught you or helped you learn about the world of work or about yourself?
For me, it was the accountability, the fact that you have to make sure that you're out of bed every morning and that you're at your place of work, and knowing that you do have to get the work done as well, and knowing that studying your actual apprenticeship, sometimes you do have to work around your work as well. So having that flexibility to go from work to your college work and being able to fit it all in. I think the accountability that workplaces have, I think that was good for me.
Yeah, it gave you something firm that you're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, you can't mess up. You need to be attending. I think that was just beneficial.
Yeah, similar to Ben, it's because you're handling your day-to-day duties as well as your course. And yeah, that is something I would consider a bit challenging, but in a way I think it's very good as well because it teaches you to be able to manage those things, as well as for some people they may be a little afraid to ask for help or support, but when you're in this position, if you're especially if you're just starting on an apprenticeship, if you're a little bit uncertain like how to manage your workloads as well as your assignments, is something good about apprenticeship as well. Challenge and a good thing is it's really easy and good to ask for help. But yeah, that's one of the challenges and good thing as well.
Just having the confidence to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because that takes a bit of trust, doesn't it? It takes a bit of time to learn. Yeah, great. Zach?
I agree about the accountability. I think that's really helped with my time management, to be fair. I now have to look at priorities and arrange when I'm going to do what task. I think for me the biggest challenge was getting into the routine of it, because at first it's a lot different to when you're at school in 6th form routine wise. But I would say that helped me in a way, because I wake up at 7 in the morning every single morning, and I have breakfast and I get on the bus and I read on the bus, and I'm just set for the day. So I think it's been really beneficial for me, and it's helped me a lot mentally.
So thinking about that then, and kind of thinking of a slightly bigger question. So you were saying it helped you with time management skills, and it helped you with sort of just general mental well-being, of the benefits of getting into a routine or getting into habits. What kind of, outside of the work skills, what kind of wider life skills do you think the apprenticeship has taught you so far?
I would say I'm more confident and I'm more open with people, because since working here, like, this is such a lovely company and everyone is so nice to each other. And I think with that, I've started talking to a lot more people. I'm a lot more open. And with attending events like conferences, and I've joined different networks now, talking and having such a big network, I feel so much more confident. And it's like when I went to my first conference here, I was so anxious, and I've just proper built up now. And I feel like I'm such a much more confident person now.
Doing the tasks that you do in an apprenticeship, it really does give you confidence. Definitely at the start you feel quite anxious, but as well the accountability, like, you know, when you've got something to do, you have to get it done, and as well it gives you the confidence to be like, oh, I need to ask for help to do this, or I need to ask this person to do this for me. Yeah, that's the life skill that's kind of helped me about a bit.
Yeah, I think it was the confidence, but in different ways. So the confidence to talk to people that you wouldn't ordinarily, the confidence to ask for help if ever you need it, and the confidence to know that learning can be for you if you didn't get on with the classroom based, to know that there is learning that can suit you.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah. So it's learning, actually it's not about you, it's about the method.
Yeah.
So we've spoken a lot about what employers can offer apprentices and what apprentices can offer employers in kind of general terms. But thinking about your own experiences in the office, thinking about the colleagues that you work with, how is it? Like, how has that relationships or those relationships developed over time, and what do you like about them?
Yeah, for me, I like the fact that my colleagues treat me just like they would anyone else in the team.
Yeah, it's been quite lovely working with my team, my team members. One of the things I really liked as well was how supportive everyone is. It's helped me be a lot more confident in asking for help and clarification, as well as just talking to other people. As when I started, I wasn't the kind of person that would go up and talk to people that I haven't talked to before. Yeah, I love how supportive everyone is. I feel like I'm a bit more like myself. Whereas before I was a little bit more like introverted, a lot introverted. No, not as much.
Yeah, I think it's kind of following on, to be fair, the fact that they're really supportive, especially in particular when it was my apprenticeship. It was sort of, if there was anything I needed for my apprenticeship, they was there to help.
I think my team's like my family, to be fair. I think our skill set, we all work really well with each other, because we're quite a positive team. Like, we've all got positivity, and I feel like that really works together. I think it was really good when I came out as non-binary at work, because everyone supported me really well with that, and straight away it was, what can we help you with? And I went straight to HR, changed my name on everything, and yeah, I feel like not only did they support me with that, but they've also supported me with personal issues, they've also supported me with work. I never feel like I can't ask for help. And we bond so well, and I feel like we work so well together.
So thinking a little bigger then, because I know you've all mentioned how your colleagues are lovely, how your colleagues are supportive. What would you say, Zach, about working for the organisation more generally? Like, what would you say about the Skills and Education Group?
As an apprentice, I really like working for this organisation, because it feels really good that we do our EPAs. It feels good to be working for a company that does specialise in apprenticeships. Also, I just like this company in general, because I like the fact we're in the education sector. I like the fact that we give grants away to people that need them. I feel like we are such a lovely company that helps so many people, and I feel honoured to be a part of that. Something I really like is the access to HE diplomas, because similar to apprenticeships, they're good for if you want a career change. I like the fact it opens up opportunities to so many different people. And if there is something that you want to go into, but you didn't get the correct A-levels for, you can, we give people the option to do that.
A final question to you all, being National Apprenticeships Week, just important to ask, what does it mean to you, and what do you think of when you think of National Apprenticeships Week?
For me, I feel like National Apprenticeship Week is really important because, at least in my experience, I never got taught about apprenticeships in college or school. Like, not spoken about a lot. It was always university if you want to be successful. And I feel like National Apprenticeship Week, it really opens it up, the discussions around apprenticeships. We can really look at the benefits, we can look at other people's stories. I feel like it is such a brilliant week to just focus on apprenticeships and what's so brilliant about them. It's brilliant for educational purposes as well.
Yeah, similar to Zach, I like the awareness it brings about apprenticeships. As similar as well, as they're not really spoken of, especially when I first started it, and it kind of brings to light like the work that we do, and yeah.
I think it's the fact that it can be seen as equal to going to college and or university if you do the levels. The fact that you've got the experience and being able to promote them, I think it needs to be done more often, not just 1 week of the year.
I agree with that.
Thanks for joining us for this session, and enjoy National Apprenticeship Week, however you're celebrating or however you're marking the occasion. Thumbs up to camera or...